Good morning, Arvada. I'm Carmen Medina.
And I'm Vlad Sidorenko, and you're watching Bulldog TV.
Congratulations to Mr. Holt for receiving the Golden Apple Teacher of the Month award.
The fall play is this week. The cast and crew have been working hard at work, preparing for Olympiaganza for weeks, bringing you into the world of Greek mythology with a modern twist. Olympiaganza will be shown tomorrow night and Friday night in the school theater. Tickets for students are $5 and $7 for general admission.
Let's take a look behind the scenes of the production of Olympiaganza.
Do you see what I mean? She's been lying to me!
There has to be a better way to deal with family issues.
Get him, Zeus!
Ah!
What the heck kind of animal is that?
An animal? I'm not an animal. I'm a lemon.
What's going on? We're just a bunch of lonely single women. Anyone looking to cuddle?
Well, we have defeated that dragon, acquired the golden fleece, and are now sailing home. Mission accomplished!
Great work, guys. Be sure to check out the fall play.
Families can learn about financial aid for college and other post-high school options at our financial aid night tomorrow at 6 p.m. A speaker from Red Rocks Community College will address how to pay for college and how to fill out the free application for federal student aid.
Visit the Career Hub during Academy time for this week to learn about job opportunities in construction and construction apprenticeships.
We have received at-home COVID-19 tests from the U.S. Department of Health. Students or families can come into the health room in the main office to get a free test.
Don't forget to order your yearbook. Yearbooks can be purchased online through the Arvada website or by speaking with Miss Natalia in the main office.
Here are your weekly attendance rates. 9th grade and 11th grade are both at 82%, 10th grade is at 80%, 12th grade is sitting at 83%. The overall attendance rate for the Arvada High School is 82%.
Let's check in with the AHS media reporters Leland and Caden for a special feature about Miss Chima and our culinary program.
This is Chima.
Pardon? Not what we do in my kitchen! I'll yell at you on a camera, I don't mind!
She teaches culinary at Arvada High.
This will be my 4th year at Arvada. I like it. I think I will probably retire from this year. You know, it's starting pretty good. It's a little busy. As you can tell, we have some chaos in the background of our kitchen, but I've got students locked in. They're baking. This is the baking and pastry class, the first year I've ever taught it. But we're doing shortbread cookies and learning what shortbread is, and some students who are, I'm certain, behind me loving the camera.
Her class focuses on different cooking methods. This class learned the shortbread method.
So next, this group is going to be doing what's called the one bowl mixing method. And so shortbread, it's the creaming method. Next, they're going to be doing one bowl mixing method. So brownies is what they'll be making. But it's just learning how to bake through different mixing methods. Because if you know the functions of ingredients, you understand how to mix them, you can actually start playing with baking and not be so locked to a recipe.
And if you follow her rules,
we don't whip towels in Chima's kitchen.
she'll teach you how to cook.
Look at that. So good. All you gotta do is sprinkle the Jana. Oh yeah. Look at that. Oh yeah. And this is a apple pie shortbread cake.
Thanks, Leland and Caden. Culinary is hosting Cooking Club. If you are interested in joining Cooking Club, talk with Miss Chima.
The Arvada High sports team sat down with Mr. Holt, coach of Arvada's esports team, to talk about the rising popularity of competitive gaming for this week's Coach's Corner.
Hey Bulldogs, Dave here with Coach Holt for the esports team. Mr. Holt, thank you for being here.
Thanks for inviting me.
So Mr. Holt, tell us about esports gaming. What's the team doing and how should the community support you guys?
Sure. So start with esports because lots of people don't even know what it is. So esports is just literally competitive video gaming. It spans all sorts of games. CHASA has sanctioned it now for the last couple of years. We had a few pilot years, and now we're officially a CHASA sanctioned activity. We have about 8 games that are available. We participate in about 3 of those titles right now, just based on interest and equipment and what our students are ready for. So they play schools all over the state. They play 3 nights a week, depending on the title. So Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, each different title, different game meets and plays at on a different day. And we have 2 seasons. So we're in our fall season right now that's wrapping up in the next few weeks. And then we'll start up again with a spring season in late January. There's a championship for the state, the whole 9 yards.
They're 8 weeks, right?
So there's 8 weeks competition plus then playoffs and championship, and a little bit of a preseason as well.
So Mr. Holt, take us through an esports competition. How does it work? How is it scored?
So they're all head-to-head. Some of them are individual. Most of them are team. It depends on title. For instance, Super Smash Brothers is a team of 3. And then it's a best of 5, meaning each player will play against one other player, and then whichever team gets to 3 wins, wins. So if at the end of the first 3, if somebody hasn't swept all 3, then there's a 4th and a 5th match. Whereas like Splatoon, for instance, is also best of 5, but it's a team game, so it's different game modes that you march through. Again, best of 3, and so each one has its own rule set up like that.
How long have you been coaching esports for?
This is a good question. I think this is year 6 or 7 if you include the pilot years. It started piloting the year before the pandemic or shortly before the pandemic, and so there's been kind of a disruption in how it's been run.
Mr. Holt, how can we watch your esports team? How do we see these games, this content, this gameplay?
Yeah, so unfortunately, until we get to the championships, there's not really a convenient way to watch. Twitch, which is the natural outlet for esports, is considered crowdfunding by the district, and so there's a bunch of rules around setting that up, and the district's been very hesitant to be very supportive of the idea of Twitch because of the fear of streaming and fear of social media and crowdfunding that they have. So right now, until we get to the championships, most of it is just local. You're always welcome to come drop by and support classmates that are playing. But there's no real way to view it online. In the past, I have tried to record clips when we were playing remote and add to the slides or add to our Bulldog Time announcements. That's difficult since most of our titles are on Switch and there's no clean solution for streaming or recording off of Switch. But yeah, so unfortunately, it's not a great spectator sport until you get to the championship level for us.
How are the teams doing this year with all the titles and stuff? How are both teams doing?
We're doing okay. Our Splatoon team lost a really hard-fought match this week to somebody who took 3rd place last year in the state, but they are 4-2 and fully in the playoff hunt. Our Smash teams are kind of at the outside looking in, and then our Mario Kart team is also currently in the playoff hunt.
And how many people are on the roster for both titles?
So Smash, I have 2 teams which run 3 participants each week, and then up to 3 people on the bench, and so I have about 8 students that rotate through those, depending on the week to week. Splatoon is a team of 4, and then Mario Kart is also a team of 4, and I have a couple of bench players for that.
And how do playoffs work for high school esports?
So one of the advantages of playing like remotely, of connecting other schools, is that our schedule isn't set at the beginning of the series or the season. So they use what's called a Swiss placement. So the first 2 games of the season for each team at random, and then after that you're placed against teams that have a similar record. And so throughout the year, the better teams play each other more consistently. Teams that are struggling drop down and play competition similar to their own. And so then what that ends up doing is a traditional ranking where they rank based on win-loss and opponent win-loss, as well as games won and games lost, to create just a basic ranking. And then the top 32 or 64 teams make it into a traditional playoff bracket with the traditional first-last seeding.
Yeah. We have one last silly question for you, Mr. Holt. Who is your favorite Disney princess?
I would have to say Pocahontas.
Pocahontas?
Yeah, because she is a great illustration of how you can take a little bit of a historical narrative and then twist that to fit the narrative and distort it to fit the narrative that you want to tell. Because she really is a great historical figure. The Disney version of it fits a very very sterilized version of American history that fits with what we wanted to tell in the 80s and 90s.
Thank you, Mr. Holt, and thank you, Bulldogs, for another week of Coach's episode. Thank you, Mr. Holt.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
That's all for this week.
Stay warm, Bulldogs, and we'll see you next time on Bulldog TV.